Your engine hasn't hit the 50,000 mile milestone, but something feels off about it. From a loss of power to weird noises and even rough running, these are some of the warning signs that a lot of drivers ignore, which can end up costing significantly. But there's a way to reverse it before the damage hits your wallet. Let's get into it. Let's begin with the one thing your engine can't live without: clean air. Your engine breathes through its air filter, and it hates dirty air. A clogged filter steals power you already paid for. It makes the engine gasp as if it's pulling air through wet cloth. A lot of drivers ignore this part because it looks harmless, but this small block can upset everything under the hood. Clean air helps combustion stay sharp and smooth. Fresh air keeps the engine running smoothly and steadily. Your engine needs fresh air every day. A clean filter also reduces strain on the throttle body. It keeps the intake path free from dust and loose debris. When airflow stays smooth, the response feels quick again. The engine stops stumbling in traffic and regains that calm idle. Replace your filter once a year if you drive in clean areas. Replace it sooner if you live near dusty roads. Now that the engine can breathe freely again, the next step is making sure it receives fuel just as cleanly. Fuel needs to enter the engine as a fine mist. Dirty injectors ruin that perfect spray. The mist turns into uneven droplets and the engine loses balance. You feel hesitation during light acceleration. You feel small vibrations during idle. Sometimes the engine drinks more fuel trying to stay alive. This is all caused by clogged injectors that struggle to open cleanly. A good injector cleaning restores that sharp spray pattern. Additives help, but some deposits need strong pressure. A professional cleaning blasts away the varnish that builds over time. The difference arrives the moment you start driving. Throttle response feels smoother. Idle becomes calmer. Fuel use drops slowly as the engine runs smoothly. Do this every few years. Direct injection engines need it even more often because the injectors face even more heat. After restoring a clean fuel spray, the next step is tackling what silently builds up inside the engine: carbon. Carbon buildup grows slowly but hits hard. It sticks to valves and pistons like stubborn soot. It narrows the space where air should move. The engine reacts with a rough idle and weak acceleration. You hear new noises that were never there before. Short trips make this worse because the engine never warms enough to clear the soot. Now, this buildup slowly steals life from the engine. Carbon cleaning brings the engine back toward its clean state. Additives help break down loose small deposits. A stronger service like walnut blasting clears the intake path completely. This refresh helps older engines feel stronger and smoother without deep repairs. It's like removing heavy dust from overlooked corners. It's recommended to do a carbon cleanup every couple years. Direct injection engines need this even more often. Make sure you use quality fuel and avoid long idle times. Let the engine warm up before driving fast. These habits will reduce new deposits. Once carbon's under control, the next place that often needs attention is the gateway of airflow itself: the throttle body. The throttle body controls how much air enters into the engine. When dirt coats the valve, the engine loses control of airflow. You feel this as a stumbling, idle, and slow response. The engine has to work twice as hard just to breathe. Now, most drivers forget this part until the symptoms grow loud, but the fix takes only minutes with basic care and some simple tools. Open the intake hose and look inside the throttle body. You'll see dark marks where the valve meets the walls. That grime interrupts smooth movement. Clean the surface with a proper cleaner and a soft cloth. Open the valve gently and wipe away the buildup. Clean this part every year if you want long-term smoothness. Avoid spraying anything inside while the part is installed on sensitive engines. Make sure you keep the intake hose tight after cleaning. If you want more quick fixes like this that restore real performance, make sure you subscribe now and keep your engine running smoother for longer. With airflow and combustion now refreshed, the next step is protecting every moving part inside the engine with clean, healthy oil. Oil is the lifeblood of your engine. Old oil turns dark and thick and it struggles to flow through tight pathways. Friction rises and metal parts start to heat up. The engine loses smooth motion and starts complaining. You may hear light ticking or feel weak acceleration. Make sure you follow your manual for correct oil intervals. Modern synthetic oil lasts longer, but still ages with heat. Short trips age oil faster because moisture never burns away. This small detail wears engines faster than people might think. So make sure you change oil on time and always check the level. Low oil is a silent killer that ruins strong engines and costs a small fortune to fix. And once fresh oil keeps the engine protected, the next key step is restoring the spark that ignites everything. Spark plugs create the small explosion that drives your engine. Old plugs grow weak and dirty. The spark becomes faint. Fuel burns unevenly, and the engine struggles to stay balanced. You feel shaking while idle. You feel hesitation during climbs. Bad plugs rob power faster than a lot of people expect. They also increase fuel use because the burn becomes messy and uneven. Change spark plugs based on the type your engine uses. Iridium plugs last long, but they still age. Copper plugs wear faster and can miss sparks after a lot of miles. Replacing plugs brings instant improvement. The engine burns fuel with clean timing again. Acceleration feels steady. Idle becomes smoother. Now this step is small but powerful. Also make sure you check ignition coils while you replace the plugs. Weak coils send unstable energy and cause misfires. A carefully installed plug lasts much longer. Restore a strong spark, and the engine starts to wake up. With the spark restored, the next step is helping the engine's sensors read everything accurately again. Sensors guide the engine through each and every move. They tell them how much air enters and how much fuel to deliver. And when sensors get dirty or weak, the engine has to start guessing instead of actually knowing. The mass airflow sensor often collects dust. This dust changes the readings and confuses the engine. You feel poor fuel use and bouncing idle. And cleaning this part helps more than a lot of people expect. The oxygen sensor also plays a major role. It checks the exhaust and sends signals for fuel correction. When it fails, the engine burns fuel the wrong way. Replacing a weak oxygen sensor brings the engine back to balance. It restores smooth combustion and clear response. Keep sensors clean and replace them when needed. Use proper cleaners only, and don't touch delicate parts with tools. Make sure you handle each sensor gently. Check wiring for cracks or loose clips. A clean sensor network helps the engine think clearly again. And once the sensors are working with clear information, the next focus is the small mechanical parts that quietly affect power every day. Small parts often decide how well your engine behaves. The PCV valve controls pressure inside the crankcase. When it clogs, the engine builds pressure and leaks start. This valve is simple to clean and even simpler to replace. A clean PCV valve helps the engine burn stored gases properly, and it keeps the oil cleaner and reduces sludge. Check your gas cap as well. A cracked or worn cap loses pressure from the fuel system. The engine struggles to maintain proper fuel flow. You see rough idle and sometimes a check light. Replacing this small part saves time and money. Also, clean the cap and filler neck occasionally. Dirt on the ring or threads ruins the seal. Look at belts and hoses during each service. Worn belts slip and hurt accessory performance. Replace old parts early before they break. These small steps keep the engine happy. Care for the details, and the engine stays strong. For more easy car tips to protect your engine and your wallet, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss an update.